Standard 10th English, subject Social Science, chapter number 15, Economic Development. Dear students, from 5th standard to 9th standard, we studied the subject of social science with three divisions: history, civics, and geography. Now, in 10th standard, we will study the fourth division, economics. The word economics has been derived from the word economy. A nation or a country which progresses and develops by the use of the resources available in the country and becomes financially stable is termed as economy. In this modern world, every nation is trying to achieve development and progress. But this development and progress is not limited only with economic development. Many other factors are included in it. So let us try to understand in detail the meaning of the word economic development. Economic development means number one, constant increase in national income. Now, the country's total income is termed as national income. Number two, increase in per capita income. To understand per capita income, we will have to divide the country's national income with the total population, so we get per capita income. Third, change in lifestyle of the people, change in living standard of people. Here, by the word living standard, we mean facilities availed by the people like food, clothes, education, health services, transportation services, including shelter also. After independence, we have experienced constant rise in the national income of the country, and also due to the increase in the per capita income, we are experiencing improvement in the services and facilities provided to the people. These improvement can be seen in availability of the food grains, cloth, electricity, education, health services, shelter, etc. Now we know that due to the foreign rule, the farmers who had become landless and the workers who had become jobless after independence got the opportunities to exercise their talents, and we see the result in economic development. We come to know by the figures available that national income, also known as GDP, gross domestic product of India, was 87 lakhs 36,039 crores in the year 2011-12. It has increased in the year 2015-16 to 1 crore 35 lakh 67,092 crores. Now let us try to become aware about the difference between the two words economic progress and economic development. In simple meaning, we come to know that both the words indicate increase, but still there is a wide difference between both of them. We can consider this on three bases. First, on the basis of the development process. Economic development is qualitative, depends on the quality, whereas economic progress is quantitative, we can count it. Economic development is the first stage, primary stage, whereas economic progress is the stage after economic development. Second point, according to the changes taking place in economy, due to new researches in economy, we experience increase in production because of the research in hybrid seeds in agriculture sector. We have seen there are many fold increase in agriculture production. This shows economic development. Whereas on the other side, when there is increase in agriculture production because of the increase in agricultural land, then there is economic progress. Go to next page. Third point, in relation to developed and developing nations, we find a difference in both of the relations in developed and developing nations. Increase in national income of a developed country is called economic progress, whereas increase in national income of developing country is called economic development. So this is how both the words are having a different meaning with regards to economics. Now we have to become familiar with the word, the term developing countries or developing nations. United Nations had earlier divided the countries on the basis of their progress and development into three sections: developed nations, developing nations, and third category was underdeveloped nations. India was placed in the third category, underdeveloped nations. We registered our protest. We are achieving economic progress and development, but due to the increase in the population, it cannot be experienced, it cannot be seen. And so it is not that the country is not developing. We are trying our level best, but due to the population explosion, this cannot be experienced. And so the label of the undeveloped nations was removed completely, and now there are only two sections in the world: developed nations and developing nations. The World Development Report of 2004 of the World Bank, the countries which have their per capita income less than $735, they are falling in the developing economy. What are the features of these countries? Well, there are nine features. Let us try to understand one by one. The first important feature is less per capita income. National income of developing country is less and population growth is high, and that's why the per capita income always remains low. And because of the less per capita income, the living standard of people, the facilities available also are low. Second, population growth. Population growth is very high in developing nations. It is nearly more than 2% in the developing countries. Third point, dependence on agriculture. A developing country is always depending more on agriculture or agro products. And we know that any person who is working in this sector, his income is always less. We will study further that there are three sections manual. This is termed in the primary sector manual. Agriculture or agro industries, agriculture production especially, are turned into primary sector. We know that a farmer who is struggling for a whole day is not able to earn maximum in a country like India because his land holding is also is less, as well as he is not able to use the modern techniques manual, and so his production is less. So in a developing country, this feature is also important. In our country, more than 60% of people are depending on agriculture for employment. Again, if you see that this employment also is for a time being, only in the monsoon season, the season of the cash crops, more and more people are employed in this agriculture sector. Now, if we are able to provide them irrigation facilities, then a farmer can go for a second or a third crop, but it is not possible in the entire nation. And that's why the people are jobless for a long time. And the income, national income contributed by the agriculture sector is nearly 26%. Fourth factor, unequal distribution of income. The income is not distributed equally among all the people. The rich people are contributing more part of the national income, and the 20% poor people are sharing only 10% of the national income. Fifth point, unemployment. Due to less education, more people are unemployed, and unemployment is more than 3% of the total labor. We can see seasonal unemployment, disguised unemployment, industrial employment in a country like India. We will study again these different types of unemployment in the coming chapters manual. But when a person is without a job, specifically due to no rain or no rain facility, then he is termed as in the category of seasonal unemployment. Next point is poverty. No employment, no money, and so poor. This also is a feature of the developing economy. People who are not able to satisfy their primary necessities like food, clothing, and shelter, or education and health are termed as poor. And in a country like India or a developing economy, they constitute one third of the total population. Dual economy. The economy of a developing country is based on the dual or mixed system. On one side, we have the backward farming method. We are using old machinery. There is orthodox social structure, and so less production is seen in villages. Whereas modern industries new production criteria, modern implements, and modern sophisticated lifestyle is experienced in the cities. Eighth point, infrastructure facilities are insufficient. The infrastructural facilities like education, transportation, communication, electricity, health facilities, banking, etc., are less lacking in the developing countries, and due to it, there is a hindrance in the development of a nation. The ninth point, forms of international trade. The structure of the foreign trade of developing countries is different. Developing countries mainly export agro products and farm products as well as minerals ore, and these types of products have less demand as well as low rate, and so the income generated by exporting these also is less. So the imports are including industrial products and machinery, and these products are very expensive, and so the imports rises. So the condition of foreign trade is adverse. We have to export more and earn less, and we import less and spend more, and so there is an increase in the debt. So these 9 points are the features we describe the features of developing economy. Our next point is economic and non-economic activities. What do we mean by economic activity and non-economic activity? Let us try to understand with a simple example. A teacher who is teaching in the school period wise gets a salary after a month. So the activity done by a teacher of teaching in school is termed as economic activity. But the same teacher teaching at home his own child does not get any income, and so teaching a child at home becomes a non-economic activity. One more example, a nurse who is employed in a hospital treats a patient and after a specific period earns his income as salary. But the same nurse treating his family members at home doesn't get any income, and so that is a non-economic activity. So now let us try to become familiar with the meaning. Economic activity means earning or spending money for the exchange of commodities or services. And the examples are farmer, artisan, businessman, teacher, nurse, etc. Non-economic activities. Activities which are not aimed to obtain income or reciprocate something indirectly are termed as non-economic activities. And the examples are nurturing of a child by the mother, activities of social services done by a social worker can be termed as non-economic activities. Let us try to become familiar with the structure of the Indian economy. We have classified our countries activities and various occupations into three categories: primary sector, secondary sector, and service sector. Primary sector: agriculture and agriculture related activities including cattle rearing, cattle breeding, fishing, poultry farm, collection of forest products, mining of raw metal, etc., are included in the primary sector. Secondary sector: small and large scale industries, factories, construction, electricity, gas and water supply are included in this section. It is also specifically known as industry. So here production takes place with the help of a machine mindware, from a small pin to a very giant machine. Uh, Third, service sector. We saw that in primary sector also there is production, but related only to the agriculture sector manual. In the secondary sector, machines are employed for production, but in third sector, only services are provided. To understand this, let us take one simple example. We travel by a train. Suppose we are traveling by Rajdhani Express from Ahmedabad to Delhi. As soon as we buy a ticket, we are given a specific number that this berth or this seat belongs to you. So we go to the station and take our seat. When the journey is completed, we have to leave that seat. It doesn't become our property, though we have spent the money. So we only get a service in a bus, in a train, in an airplane, in a steamer. We are getting only a service. And so this is the third sector. Even the banks also are providing us a service. So all these are included in the service sector. Services like trade, communication, airways, waterways, education, health, banking and insurance, tourism and entertainment are included in this sector. And normally, in developing country, primary sector is dominating. It generates more national income and also contributes in giving more employment. Factors of production. Go to the next page. There are four factors which are used for production, and they are land, capital, labor, entrepreneurship. Usually, by land, we mean the upper layer of the surface of the earth. But when we talk in economics, land has a different meaning. Different types of natural resources, which include forest, rivers, mountains, minerals present in the interior of the earth, metals, etc. All these become a part of land. Capital. Man-made instruments helpful in production process, such as instruments, tools, houses, etc., are included in capital. Property, assets, and investment, etc. In simple word, we mean money by capital. But suppose a businessman is having his own building where production can take place, then that property, that building becomes a part of capital. If a person who is a manager is given a car or a flat, it also becomes a part of capital. So, in this way, all man made instruments which are helpful in production are included in the term capital. Labor. Labor means mental or physical work which is done with the aim to obtain a monetary gain. And so, labor is a living factor of production. Fourth, entrepreneurship. This is a Russian word, entrepreneur. A person who is involving himself and gets all the three factors together, that is land, labor, and capital, for a production process is termed as entrepreneur. An entrepreneur has to always face a risk, but without bothering, he takes a risk and tries to produce something by involving or mixing all the three factors, land, labor, and capital. And so these are the four factors which are helpful in production process. Distribution of the factors of production. Our wants, our needs are unlimited, and we use resources to fulfill, but these resources also are limited. No country of the world has resources in unlimited quantity, whether it is a mineral oil, coal, iron, agricultural land. All these resources are limited, and that's why there is always experienced scarcity of the factors of production. And so many countries are facing problems related to allocation of resources. Unlimited wants. Human wants are uncountable and unlimited. If one demand is satisfied, then the crops of it immediately. For example, if you buy a color television and bring it at home, now to experience different channels, you must you need a cable connection. Either you buy your own cable network, or you try to buy a set-top box which is from a local cable network. Then you think of buying a DVD player, a home theater, and every month you have to go on paying for the cable connection. So this makes very clear that wants are unlimited. Many wants are originating from one want. Many requirements are to be fulfilled again and again, while many wants arise because of development of the science and technology. Thus, because of the many reasons, wants become unlimited. So, in order to fulfill the wants, one has to make selection among the wants. Second, important order in terms of necessities. The resources to satisfy these wants are limited. It is the individual who has to decide that which want is more important for him, and so he is to satisfy that want first. So he is to give a priority which he wants to satisfy early and which he wants to satisfy later on. Limited resources. The factors of production mainly include natural wealth and man-made wealth, and all these are limited. So they have to be used or utilized judiciously or in a limited manner. Distribution of tools has to be done keeping selected ones in the center. Fourth, alternate use of the resources. Resources to satisfy demands are limited and they have alternative usage also. So when any tool of production may be utilized in more than one way, it means that a tool has multiple usage. For example, wheat is sown in a land, bajra, maize and groundnut or in other production cannot be cultivated. Other usage of the land has to be stopped. So in the above mentioned condition, distribution factors is done in such a way that they satisfy to maximum possible demands. Now let us try to become familiar with the methods of allotting or allocation of resources. A country which tries to attain speedy development must make the best possible use of the resources, and this can be only done if we are able to allocate or allot the resources in the proper planned manner. Allotment of resources can be done by two methods, that is market mechanism and social system. Let me make it very clear, both these systems are opposite to each other, and by taking the advantages of both the systems, many other methods have been developed, and a country will accept one or the other method as per their requirement. Let us become familiar with both the systems, that is market system and social system. Market system. Countries like America, Japan have made their economic development through only market system. This market system is also called capitalist system. In this method, please underline, the process of resource allocation is done on the basis of profit scope. That means while producing any commodity, the entrepreneur will make very clear that he must be able to receive more than he has spent. That is profit. And so in this system, in production and its related activities, profit is at the center. People will invest in only those industries where they find more scope of profit. For example, in a country like India, where we are enjoying the summer season and the temperature always is above 30 degree, we are bearing the sunshine, scorching heat also every day. So we need to take a bath daily. So if we are able to start a factory producing bathing soap in a country like India, there are more there is more scope of profit. But the same industry of bathing soap, if we try to establish in a country where there is completely cold weather, mind well, they may be taking a bath maybe once in a week, and so they will not need more soap. So there, the profit margin will be less. That's why people will invest only in those industries where they find more scope of profit. Market is completely free in this system. Government does not play any role in this method. So there is no government interference, neither there is any specific economic policy by the government. In this system, competition plays a vital role. You might have experienced that if you go to a pan shop or any other shop, and well, provision shop also, you will find more than 40-50 brands of only bathing soap. So there is competition. In the competitive market, the owner has to increase his working capacity to the greatest extent in order to obtain maximum profit. So a producer or a worker will always try to use his technique or skill to produce more by less resources, and that also in a speedy manner. Because of this method only, many new researches have been done and also new methods of production have been created. So in this method, production is the maximum, and so only the nations are able to make their economic development in a speedy or a faster manner. So competition is controlling the whole market like an invisible hand. It is not seen anywhere. And because the state does not interfere in the system, it is also known as free economy. The features of market mechanism system. Please underline, and they are asked as 2 marks question. Ownership of resources of production is either individual or private. Second, profit is at the center of economic activities in market system. Third, consumers are getting good opportunity of choice. Fourth, there is no government interference in this system. Number five, distribution of resources is completely based on profit motive. And sixth, economic decisions are taken keeping in mind the price mechanism to see that because of competition the price should be less, at the same time profit should be more. Benefits of market mechanism system or advantages. Economic freedom of individual is protected in market system because even a consumer is free to select or he has choice. Number two, resources of production are utilized to the greatest extent and efficiently. Abundant production may be done. Fourth, new explorations keep on taking place continuously in economy. As a result, economic development becomes faster. As I told you earlier, that the producer and the worker are always trying to attain or achieve more and more production by spending less resources also, and the worker by using less time. So obviously production will take place faster and new methods will be found. And number five, quality of things improve because of competition. We always get a good quality because of the competition only, mind well. This system also has some limitations. In spite of having many benefits, this is not a perfect or a complete system. Limitations or disadvantages. Number one, because of keeping profit in the center of production, commodities are produced in more quantity, and production of luxurious items of basic requirement are neglected or reduced. So more production takes place in luxurious items and basic requirements are neglected. Number two, because of the lack of policy related of state, natural resources are wasted. There is no government interference, and that's why natural resources are wasted. Number three, due to lack of knowledge and ignorance about the market, even the consumers are exploited. Number four, due to centralization of property and income, there is increase in disparity of income. And number five, there is a fear of monopoly, economic instability, exploitation of labor, etc. Socialist system. Socialist system originated because of the limitations and the failures of market system. Countries like Russia and China have been able to achieve fast economic progress by adopting this socialist system. As we saw earlier, that this system is completely opposite to the market system. And in the socialist system, all economic decisions are taken by the state machinery. That means here the government is interfering. The state is owning all the resources of production. In this system, whole economy is managed by the state. All the decisions pertaining to production, investment, resource distribution, production distribution, etc., are taken after keeping the requirement of the society in mind. In market system, we saw that the producer is free to produce whatever he likes, but in socialist system, the needs of the society are kept in mind, and then production is taking place. So in the socialist system, rather than profit, social welfare is at the center. Please underline. That's why these systems are opposite to each other. In market system, profit is at the center, whereas in the socialist system, social welfare is at the center. The production of resources and their prices are decided by the state and not the producer or the entrepreneur. The responsibility to achieve the target of production is also decided by the state governed factories. Same way, farming is also owned by the state. People have to work as laborers and they are paid according to their ability, and accordingly also work is taken from them. So I hope you might have been clear that these both the systems are completely opposite to each other. Features of the socialist system. Number one, all the resources are owned by the state. Number two, all the decisions or rather economic decisions are also taken by the state. What to produce, when to produce, why to produce, and how much to produce. Number three, rather than profit, social welfare is at the center of each and every economic activity. Number four, laborers are paid wages in return of work. Advantages of the socialist system. So go to the next page. Because of production according to requirement of society, unimportant and luxurious items are not at all produced. So there is no wastage of resources. Number two, as the decision related to production are taken by the state, so also the wastage of resources is not there. Number three, disparity of income and property is also removed. In market system, the person who is earning more or having more profit will become rich and richer, and the person who is exploited will become poor and poorer. So there is disparity of income. But in the socialist system, because of the social welfare, the disparity of income and property is removed. Number four, here the consumers are not exploited. But as we know that no system is a complete system, so even this system also has some limitations. Actually, this system had come into existence to remove the limitations of the market system and had a noble intention of equal distribution also of property and social welfare, but it also has certain limitations. Number one, because the resources of production are owned by the state, People do not get encouragement and motivation to increase production. The idea of doing more work, the idea of some innovation is limited in this system. Number two, due to lack of competition, contest and research do not get momentum in the economy. So no research takes place. Third, there is lack of individual freedom in this system because every decision is taken by a state and person has no right to take any decision. And fourth, because of complete interference of the state, there is fear of bureaucracy. Whatever the bureaucrats will think proper only will be implemented. So these were the limitations of the socialist system. Because many other countries have adopted some other methods, one of the method is also known as mixed economy, that is the third system. This mixed economic system attempts to remove the limitations of both the systems, market mechanism system as well as socialist system, and it tries to assimilate or amalgamate or mix up in it good elements of both the systems. So mixed economy is that type of a economic system where public sector and private sector both are existing together. That means they coexist. And these sectors do not work as competitors, but they work as complementary to each other. What one sector is lacking, the other tries to cover it up. That means they are complementary. To understand this, let us try to become more deeply that there is individual or private ownership in agriculture, trade, small consumer goods industry, etc. Whereas the key industries like heavy industries, factories producing defense material, the railway, the electricity, the road, and irrigation, all these are owned by the state. In this system again, market is not completely free because government is laying control in different methods. For example, the state is implementing heavy tax on production of unwanted things. In a country like India, if you want to buy a very costly car or a luxurious item, you have to pay more tax, mind well, on it. In the same way, industries in the backward areas are encouraged by giving subsidy, relaxation in tax, etc. Recently, we have the Atmanirbhar scheme, same way. So the industries where they are in the backward area, they are given more encouragement. So mixed economy is that type of economic system in which important place is given to economic planning in taking economic decisions. There is coexistence of the private and public sector and it has been accepted. So we can also call this system as controlled economic system. Countries like India, France and England are following the mixed economy. So these were the three systems of allocating the resources. Well, we had a study about market system, socialist system and mixed economy, which are the deciding factors for economic decisions and distribution of resources. At present, there is no country in the world where there is absolute either market system or socialist system. And so both these systems have lost their individual identities and have assimilated into a mixed economy that is mixture of both the systems. Market system witnesses indulgence of planning elements and state interference, whereas socialist system witnesses economic relaxations and economic liberalization. But still, there are some demerits or limitations also in the mixed economy, like economic instability, lack of coordination, inconsistent economic policy, low rate of growth of economic development, etc. These are the limitations in the mixed economy. So no system is a complete system. Every system has some of the other limitations. I hope you might have understood these systems properly, and so please try to fill your workbook. Wherever your difficulty, you can raise a question. Thank you.